Okay, part two, introduction to rationals. Um, so we're just going to multiply and divide. Really don't divide, you just flip and multiply. So um, pretty simple stuff. May have been able to get it on that first video, but I didn't want to stretch it. All right, so okay equals monomials. Multiply together, then simplify. And that's what we've got the first two questions. So we've got 60 x to the fifth y to the seventh over 36 x squared y to the fourth. So we can kind of just take stock of, let's not put it that close. Kind of take stock of what we have. I just start with a fraction bar and start writing down what's left. 60 and 36, they're just numbers. We treat them as numbers. And so those are divisible by 12. 12. We got a 5 and then a 3. X to the fifth, x squared leaves me with x to the third in the numerator. X to the y to the seventh, y to the fourth leaves me with y to the third in the numerator. That's it. Next one, easy stuff. 20, a to the fifth, b to the eighth, a to the fifth, b to the eighth, all over 180. A to the fifth, b to the 10th. Okay, so what's left over? You got a 9 in the numerator. A to the fifth and a to the fifth cancel. And you have a b to the second in the denominator. And nothing is left in the numerator, so we put a 1. 1 over 9b squared. Now let's see what we have here. Binomials and trinomials. Factor everything you can first and then simplify. This goes back to the first days of the year. Number 11, what can we do? We can take 4x, leave me with x minus 1. The denominator, I'm going to use the margin. 2x squared plus 2x minus 3. It gets me x minus x plus 3, x minus 1 with a 2. Okay, so that means 2 parentheses x plus 3, x minus 1. And just like the previous video, a lot of these are just going to cancel into something nice and clean. On this side, times x plus 3x minus 2. And the last one, we can take a 4x out of both of those, leaving us with an x plus 2. Okay, so now we play the game that we played literally one of the first days of school this year, and that is you can simplify vertically and diagonally, but never horizontally. So I can take this, change colors, I can take this 4x out and this 4x out. I can take this x minus 1 and this x minus 1. I can take this x plus 3 and this x plus 3. We have x minus 2 and x plus 2 like the previous video, though. It wouldn't work if you factored out a negative number, so you can't just pick and choose when to do that. So that's all that's left, which means my final answer is x minus 2 over 2 times x plus 2. And just leave those factored. Don't multiply that 2 into there. Okay. Number 12. All right, so the first thing I do see, this transposed minus v squared at the backside. So I'm going to, in one fell swoop, say negative 5v, and that flips it over to be v minus 2. Okay, again, I'm factoring out that negative. giving me a positive 5v squared minus 10v. And then I took out the 5v. Okay. In the denominator, easy. I say easy. V minus 9v minus 2 times, and that's a v minus 9 and a v plus 1 all over 15v. All right, so here we go, a canceling. V minus 2, v minus 2, v minus 9, v minus 9, 5v right there. Hardest part is just keeping all this stuff straight. I am left with a negative v plus 1, 3. So you can put the negative wherever you want. You can put the numerator off to the side, whatever you want to do. V plus 1 over 3. And let's just put that negative down here. There we go. Okay, dividing rationals. You don't really divide. You just flip, keep change, flip, and do the same thing above. The steps don't change. The rules don't change. You're just going to say, it's just rewriting, honestly. 5p q over 16p cubed times and flip. You really do want to rewrite these. I'm not just doing this for fun. 35p squared q squared. Oh, okay. So the directions say to multiply first and then simplify. I'm going to simplify first and then multiply. Again, referencing first days of school. So the same thing applies on these, is that you can simplify diagonally and vertically, just never horizontally. So to make these numbers a lot smaller and a lot more manageable, since I don't feel like doing 16 times 35, what I can do is that. And you may just want to do this with your numbers. Okay, well, that's a lot easier. And then you can multiply and simplify your letters so that we don't have a ton of stuff being all scratched out. So what does that leave me? That leaves me with PQ to the 6th up top. This is no longer there. This is no longer there. So it's PQ times Q to the 5th over. I've still got my 2. I've still got my 7. So that's 14 in the denominator. I've got a P to the 3rd, P to the 2nd. Hello, Mr. Chavez. Okay. And then P to the 5th, Q to the 2nd. And now we can clean up our letters. P over P to the 5th. Draw my line. 14 still down here. P to the 4th in the denominator. Q to the 4th. Okay. Keep. And I'm going to factor that 4 out. So I'm not writing a whole lot more. You can hear a little voice in the background. That's my son playing Minecraft. Times flip and factor kind of all at the same time. So these two flip. X squared plus x minus 6 is the new numerator, and I'm going to factor it x plus 3, x minus 2. Like I said, a lot of these are predictable because now I have my x minus 2's diagonal from each other that will cancel. The numerator, I can take out a 2 and x, leaving me with x plus 3. And again, predictably, here's what we have. X plus 3 and x plus 3 cancel. Y minus 2 and y minus 2 cancels. That gives me 10 over 8, 8x, and then we always simplify our fractions, 5 over 4x. Golly, pen's acting up. Okay, scanning. I see my trick right here, my watch out trick. So that 24a squared minus 8a cubed becomes negative parentheses 8a cubed. Just want to have a little space out here. Minus 24a squared, so that when I factor it, I don't do too many things all at once. All right, 15. First fraction, keep the same. I can take out a 2a squared, leaving me with a minus 6. Denominator, a minus 6, a plus 2. Over here, remember I'm flipping. I can factor that one in my head. A minus 3, a minus 5. And we're going to take this guy over here. Since I did my little flip trick, that means negative. And I can take an 8a squared out, leaving me with, I'm looking back over here, leaving me with a minus 3. Okay, cancel time. A minus 6, a minus 3, my a squares. And my 2, my 8 becomes a 4, my negative. So what am I left with? Oh, what a mess. I'm left with a minus 5. Man. I'm left with a minus 5. Why not? Parentheses over negative 4, a plus 2. All right. Man, that's a mess. Okay, last one. Okay. Wow, 3-part question. Okay, well, take care of that. So that's K. Oh, my goodness. Hear people laughing at me. Gotten used to that over the years. All right, so that gives me K plus 3 over K. Do not cancel monomial with binomial. You cannot cancel those K's. Change this to a times 1 over 4K plus 1. And that stays times, but I can factor the numerator, 4K plus 1, 4K minus 1, all over K plus 3. Okay. So 4K plus 1, 4K plus 1, K plus 3, K plus 3, leaves me with 4K minus 1 over K. So this whole little unit, this first part, is basically factoring and canceling. We'll get into what a rational function is another day. So I see my time ticking away, and that's the end. Since you guys don't have this packet, print off whatever you need, and I will also post the blank version of this in the homework on the Google Classroom.